Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. So this is a super requested one, and I feel so bad because I've been saying for over a year that we're gonna film and post this video, but we just haven't got round to it.
Yeah, it has actually been a year since we said, oh yeah, we'll do that one. Cool.
So now we are here, we are living in our van. This could be also like van life update. We've been in the van for 2 months now.
Longer.
Yeah, we started on like September 25th. It is now December. I don't know if I introduced you. This is my boyfriend, Tommy. If you're new to my channel,
I've been in various videos in the past.
But yeah, if you are new here, please do hit the subscribe button and follow us on our socials to stay updated in our travels and where we are at the moment. And yeah, if you want to see more travel content, then definitely hit that subscribe button. But today we're going to be doing our long-awaited Q&A, so I guess we'll just hop right on into it. We can start with one of the most common questions, which I feel like we've answered so many times, but it is of course, where and how did you meet? We met in the romantic place called
Bundaberg.
Yes. Yeah, so we met during farm work. I got basically everyone was in a couple when I came to the hostel,
And I was the only one left. So.
And I was like, what's going on here? That's kind of weird. And it was the last place I expected to find a boyfriend. Yeah,
I thought it was like everyone was sort of singling and mingling.
Since then, we've been 24/7 every day, pretty much.
I had a tractor job, which I don't really drive tractors, but I lied and I said that I did for the sake of just getting my farm days done easy. I wouldn't recommend it, by the way. I was driving around the tractor on the farm that Becca had just started on because she was new. When we first met, I did not think that we could ever be together. I'll be super honest.
Neither
and you
did
probably
I.
thought the same.
I did not think.
We weren't it wasn't love at first sight.
No, but we had our amazing friend Annalie was the best wing woman.
Yeah, she was like my best friend through farm work, and she was also Swedish. So yeah, that's why I started learning Swedish, not just because of Becca. The first time we hung out, and then we just kept hanging out after the first time we hung out. We went on a camping trip, we hung out quite a lot, and then just decided to hang out more, and then we started renting cars at the weekends so that we could go travel around, and then people just were less keen to start coming to keep coming with us on our trips, so we just thought, well, we still want to go, so we just started hanging out properly, and that's kind of how we became a couple.
And then we decided that it would be fun to travel together, and initially it was maybe I'll come visit him on his travels for a week, but then kind of decided that we wanted to continue traveling together, and we ended up renting a van together, and then ever since then it's we live together in Brisbane. Yeah,
and the craziest thing about when you're traveling Australia, if you've already done it then you know, but if you're thinking about doing it in the future, this is kind of what it's like. You have to make decisions on people that you travel with and where you're going to go pretty quickly. You could probably have it all mapped out, but you're not going to stick to your plan. So we were hanging out for about a month or so, and then we decided that we wanted to rent a van and travel the east coast of Australia. That was pretty quick.
It's actually quite crazy that we did that.
Yeah.
Luckily it worked out.
And that kind of links to the second popular question: do we fight?
Oh, do we fight?
Yes.
Yeah,
we do. I think everyone does though.
Yeah.
She's a fire sign and I'm an air sign. So it's actually...
Fire and air.
It's not supposed to be a good combo.
No, but the thing is, Gemini and Aries are supposed to be a good combo, but it can be a very intense combo. It can go either way. But I'm not a typical fiery person, I don't think.
You're not your typical Aries either.
No.
Yeah, so we do fight, but also I think that's kind of necessary. If you're sort of two people that are traveling around together and you've got some issues and stuff, but you keep quiet, I think that kind of ruins your time. You kind of spend more time festering and stewing on something oh god, I just wish they didn't do that. We don't fight that often, but when we do, it's always pretty productive, I think.
Yeah, whenever we do, it's never over something big. It's normally when when I'm a bit hungry and tired.
We do spend every day together as well.
And I think especially in such a small environment, we're in a tiny home,
this
which
is our home,
basically consists of this bed and then our tiny cooking space where Tommy can't even stand up, so sometimes it's natural to get a little bit frustrated. And yeah, it definitely has its ups and downs living in a van, but I'd say the ups definitely outweigh the downs. How COVID has affected you over the past year. When I arrived in February 2020, so I had one month of like not any COVID. So I luckily got to the Gold Coast where I was working at a hostel for work for accommodation, and I had like my previous savings, so luckily I actually had a home and I didn't need to save a bunch of money. I was just basically paying for groceries and that was it. And doing work for accommodation is something that I did quite a few times when I was new to Australia, and it's a really good way to like get to know people and get to know the area and like figure out kind of what you want to do next. I do have a promo code for you guys that you can use, and it's for World Packers. So they're like a website where you can go to like different countries. I think you can go to like Costa Rica, you can go Hawaii, you can do it in Europe, Asia, Australia, and they basically have lots of places where you can do work and get accommodation. Some places provide you with meals and other things like that. So they have like hostels, farms, they have like wellness retreats, which is really cool. And a lot of other places. So if you do want to sign up there, you can use the code RebeccaLE10, which is on the screen right now, which will give you 10% off, and you can click the link below if you want to find out more about it. I'll probably have some more info in the description as well, but definitely go check it out. It's a really good thing if you're planning on traveling abroad and you want to live cheaply and make new friends and have new experiences. So I definitely recommend that.
But everybody that travelled to Australia, you had to make the decision of, it was kind of like, are you brave enough or stupid enough to stay like halfway around the world? And a lot of people just like, yeah, I just want to keep partying and I don't want to go home. Like that was genuinely why a lot of people stayed. But for me, and I think for Becca as well, it was like, we just got here. So
yeah, literally just got here.
We were kind of thinking, right, let's get some farm work done, and hopefully things will kind of change up and we can see the country then, which it did, but it took a lot longer than we thought. Everyone had the same idea and was like, okay, let's just do the farm work now, easy. So like farms were super competitive to get into, and I ended up taking the tractor job, and you did like every job under the sun. There's like sweet potatoes, macadamias, pruning, blueberries, all of it. But the positive way that it affected us, like what was nice is we both got to experience Australia when there was lots of people around from all over the world, which was really cool for a little while. But I think that would I don't know if it gets old. We're both people that we're not like super extrovert. Like we like our own time as well. So it was kind of like everybody just went and vanished. And then it was like we were at Disneyland, but there were no queues for anything. So we were like, whoa, we've got this whole place to ourselves, and some of the budget to travel it. So
yeah, it was actually
awesome.
Awesome having the Whit Sundays, for example, like the whole beach to ourselves. Basically, we had the whole lookout for ourselves there.
The hardest part was like obviously saying goodbye to the people that you just got in, and like you just made a friendship group and stuff, and a lot of people were like, right, cool, I'm out. And then we were staying, so you kind of had to start again with some friendship groups. And traveling in general is about making not just one friendship group that I think you spend the whole time with, but like a lot of different friendship groups, and I think that's what's quite cool about it.
Probably the worst thing that COVID has affected is obviously all the people that have got ill and obviously sick from it,
of course.
But also not being able to like travel back and see my friends and family.
Yeah,
like I would have loved to spend Christmas with my friends and family, but instead, if we wanted to see more of Australia, we have had to just stay here because we haven't been able to travel freely. I think next year in January they're opening. Don't take my word for that because I'm not sure.
And it's always changing anyway. So
okay, so we have 2 questions for you. First one, where is Tommy from? From Anne.
I'd love to know where people thought I was from, because I think everybody gets it wrong. But as soon as you hear me talk, you know where I'm from.
I'm British.
British, mate. Well, I'm from England. I'm from Bath, just outside of Bath, actually. My hometown is called Malmesbury, which is one of the first towns ever built in the UK.
Really? Second one is, why is he travelling Australia?
I came out because I am a musician. and I was hitting it super hard. Like left uni and I was like, cool, yeah, like this music thing's gonna be easy. And I realized how much hard work it took, so I hit it really hard for like 7 years. It went really well. Like I think I had the dream job, but then obviously when you get more, then you work more. For me, it was just like, so I thought, right, cool, I'm going to travel the world properly without music. I want to see what that's like. A couple of things happened and it was like, cool, final push.
Yeah, there's so many questions about what are our future plans. Like, do you see each other together after Australia?
I think that's actually our most asked question. Yeah, we've been talking about it a lot recently, and just like, it's cool to think that kind of wherever we go, we've thought through our options. So, you know, no one can be like, yeah, we're going to be together forever.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's impossible to say, but we
going to give it a damn
definitely
good go.
want to.
Yeah.
And it's a positive that you're not from Australia, because that would be far. But Sweden and England is literally like 1.5 hour on the airplane.
Yeah,
I've got family in the UK. You've got friends in Sweden, so it would be a pretty natural place to travel to and from if we had to. Like, if we did decide to
and
live
also,
apart for a while. The answer to your question is yes, we do see each other together after Australia, and where we're going to end up, we don't know. We're kind of just like taking every day as it comes, and I honestly don't think either of us have any set place in our
which
mind.
I like, because like if one of us was like, I must live in Sweden, or I must live it, or we're going to stay here forever, like, then I don't think it probably would work. But like, we
we're
talked
both
about
very open-minded.
all of the options.
Please, can you name the hostels you've stayed in?
Oh god,
There's too many to name.
yeah. Should we both do a top 3? If you're doing it what I think is proper backpacker style, that's like the quick version of traveling Australia, is you kind of do like a Greyhound or like a bus pass, and then you just go all over. So you could stay in like 50 hostels just up the East Coast.
Yeah, so we didn't answer the question about our hostels.
Should we do a top 3 each? You go first.
Let's do a top 3. Well, the thing is, now we're on the West Coast, I don't know about the hostels because we're obviously living in the van, so I can only account for the East Coast here. But I'd say number 1, Magnetic Island YHA. I hope it's still open.
Yeah.
They've got the cutest like bungalows, or there's a campground. And they have like wild koalas in their campground. They have a little outdoor kitchen. It's nothing fancy, but it's really cute, and I just love Magnetic Island, as you guys know.
The cool thing about Magnetic Island in general is you're pretty much guaranteed to see koalas.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
we saw 4 the time we went.
Did we?
Lots of wallabies too, snakes. It's the coolest place to see the wildlife that you think of when you think of Australia. Yeah, I'm going to say that Magnetic Island is on my top 3. It'd probably be my number 3.
Your third favourite?
Yeah.
Okay. So my second favourite hostel is probably I think it's the YHA again in Noosa, because it's right on not Main Beach. It's right like 5-minute walk to Main Beach. And
I actually don't know if it's YHA anymore.
Yeah, I think they changed it, but it's the one that is...
It's called Hall's Lodge.
Yeah, Hall's Lodge. Really, really cute hostel. And
I mean, we lived in Noosa for 6 months. If you've tuned in before, then you would have seen our Noosa vlogs. It's amazing. It's just like a dream town. Like, everything's wrapped in fairy lights at the night time. You can walk around in your shorts and t-shirt at night, and the beaches are stunning. If you're learning how to surf, it's like the best place
to learn.
You learn how to surf there.
So
I have 2 number 1s, and I'll explain why. Right. One of my number 1s is just because it was just a hilarious time, the time that I stayed there. It doesn't matter if you're into the whole party scene or whether you kind of find it fun to witness the whole party scene. For me, it was the second. But there's Gilligan's in Cairns, which is like...
Is that your favourite one?
Purely because it was just like wild, I think. So I'm just trying to think of like maybe what I'd be looking for when I came to Australia. Gilligan's in Cairns is the number 1 party hostel in Australia. It's wild. My other number 1 was Nomads in Byron Bay. If you go to Byron Bay, or if you've been to Byron Bay, you'll see why. The hostel got shut down over COVID, which is really sad. But I lived there for a little while. Like, I think that was pretty close to having the dream life as a backpacker and a surfer and stuff like that. Other than the van life that we have now, obviously.
Okay, my third and final one. I honestly can't think of many hostels other than Down Under in Gold Coast, where I did my lockdown. And it's in Surfers Paradise, and Surfers Paradise isn't the best place, like, not when I was there. Everything was shut. Like, I think the reason people go to Surfers Paradise is to party. And when I went there, I thought it was going to be like Surfers Paradise, like the name, like paradise beaches with amazing surf. And I didn't surf once being there, which is really sad. But that's the only hostel I can
Paradise,
think of.
it's not actually that nice to surf unless you're a pro.
Yeah, but definitely go down to Coolangatta, which is a really cute area. Like what Tommy said, if you're new to Australia and you're looking to make friends and you want to party a lot, you want to be really social, then I definitely recommend Down Under hostels, because that's where I made so many friends, and I feel like I became a lot more like confident and outgoing there, because I was working in the reception, so I basically had, like, my job was to socialise with our new guests.
Yeah, it's funny,
Very
isn't it? It's
place.
like when you kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone and just launch yourself into that social situation, you have to be social. So there's kind of nothing to panic
nowhere
about.
to go.
It's like it's just a natural thing. Like, someone asks you a question, you answer it. You might want to answer a question. Like, if you're someone who's like, oh my god, like, how am I going to make friends there? Like, it's daunting just going up to other backpackers and having a conversation. Everyone is in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I hear everybody say this, and it's so obvious, but like, when you're just about thinking about going, you're like, oh my god, what's it going to be like? It's going to be fine.
Yeah, because everyone is there to make friends, and everyone
Have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's taking themselves seriously. Most people are not taking themselves seriously. I actually have a new favourite, and I'm going to drop it in real quick. I think it's Jackaroo in Mission Beach, and Mission Beach is also the best chance you'll have to see a cassowary, which is really rare to see. It's also
the second biggest
bird in the world, and it's super colourful. It's like a dinosaur. I started my journey with Welcome to Travel, which is a company that kind of sets you up with everything you need to kind of start backpacking in Australia. They sort out your SIM card, like for your mobile phone. They sort out your bank. They sort out everything, even down to your tax file number that you have for work.
That's so good.
Then you jump in with all these people. They're in exactly the same boat. No one knows each other at the start. Everyone's kind of just down to get to know each other. You have a whole tour. You even do a bar crawl tour. That's pretty cool. And you spend like a week in Melbourne or Sydney. I thought that was the coolest thing. I'm still in contact with the guys that own the thing, the everyone on my tour, and it's 2 years later. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was actually...
Check out Welcome to Travel.
Such a cool experience. When we did it in Sydney, we went to film the promo video, as you guys probably saw, and it was so amazing. Like, I really wish that I had that when I came out to Australia.
You kind of guaranteed that group of people immediately.
Okay, we kind of answered this question. I've had many questions about this, if I think it would be easy to make new friends as a solo traveller in Australia, and the short answer to that is yes, 100% easy to make new friends. As we said, go to a hostel.
I feel like we've answered that here.
Hang out in the kitchen, just in the kitchen, I feel like is the easiest place to make friends. Or in the living room, if there's a TV in the hostel or something like that, then you can just be like, oh, what are we watching? Or if you're in the kitchen, then just go up to someone and be like, hey, what are you cooking? That looks nice. I don't know. It's easy to make friends in the kitchen.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. I've definitely met a lot of people in the kitchen. Always look at what events are on.
Oh, definitely. Is it easy to find farm work? How do you even begin to look / where to look? Normally, it's you hear from other people that are traveling, you hear what hostels are good, what farm working hostels to avoid. We heard a lot about Bundaberg being bad, but then in the end we ended up being
the very fortunate ones.
Lucky to go there, because we were earning hourly rate. When looking for farm work, definitely find out if they do hourly or piece rate, and don't do piece rate because you won't end up
unless you're a machine. If you're super quick. The wrong way to do your farm work, this is a don't do, is just go to a random party hostel because it looks fun, and then the farmers will literally just make you work for $2 a day.
Yeah.
We know people that have been on the same farm and not
do
earned
that.
any money, just spent all their savings just trying to get their days done. And also message the place, are they
Yeah,
looking,
call
do they have
them.
work on? You'll get a gauge whether someone's lying to you.
Farm work is going to be hard, like whether you go to piece rate or an hourly rate. It's not going to be, well, it might be fun, but it's going to be hard. And yeah, basically what I did to find my farm work was I googled farm work in the area, or best like farm working hostels in Australia. So basically some places you'd stay at a hostel and they'd take you to the farm, or you'd find your own accommodation and you'd have to have a car like to get to the farm. So that kind of factors in like if you have a vehicle, or if you need to stay in like a working hostel where it will kind of more be like sorted out for you.
That's the better way to go if you're
Yeah,
not sure.
I reckon that is the better way, and that's how to meet more friends and have a better time in general. How do you afford to stay there for so long, and how much money did you need for the visa? So yeah, there was a set amount that you had to prove that you had in your bank account. I think it was like, was it $5,000?
I think it was $5,000, $6,000.
Yeah.
Basically, they want to know that you're not going to come to the country and be like, I have no money, what do I do now?
What I did was I saved a lot before coming out, because my plan wasn't to work here. My plan was just to travel for 4 months. But yeah, I ended up obviously doing the work for accommodation, saved a lot of money there. And then my first real job was actually farm work, and I managed to save a lot of money there as well. But basically what we do is we just travel till the money runs out, then we stop and work somewhere. Like I've done hospitality mainly, cleaning, now I'm doing retail. So yeah, we just find like little jobs here and there. Like you can't be picky.
Pick and mix.
If you plan on coming to Australia, I think you're going to get like a really awesome job, then maybe you can, but you also can't be picky. If you just want money to travel, then sometimes you've got to take those
entry-level jobs.
Those jobs, and sometimes you've got to make your own coffee instead of go out for coffee. You've got to like save money. We do lots of bulk cooking. We try not to eat out so often. We've become a little bit bad at that now. We both have jobs here in Margaret River.
So easy to just be like, oh, we can live a bit more comfortably now.
Yeah, but on the road, like when we were traveling, and we would just like cook maybe 4 meals in one go, like buy mainly like veggies, beans, like rice.
Yeah.
If you always have something in the fridge, you'll also be less inclined to like, oh, let's just buy this bag of sweets at the fuel stop, or oh, let's just stop and get some chips, like,
or let's just go out, like I can't be bothered
let's
to
just
cook.
go out. Yeah.
Like,
So always have some meal prep in
cook
the
a meal
fridge.
to last like 3 days, you'll save lots of money.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've managed to stay for so long by working those jobs. Just when we run out of money, work again.
And save hard. Like I'm a big saver.
This is 2 personality types right here. 1 saver, 1 spender. For me, like I would just earn as much as I physically can, and then I'll just blow it all on things that I love to do.
On a working holiday visa, do you think it's better to work or travel first? And is it better to find a job before or after arriving? I don't think there's a
Doesn't
set
matter
way.
at all.
No.
Yeah, you can kind of do it whichever way you want, but definitely come with some money, a little bit of money saved, just so you know that you're going to be alright.
Yeah, and I feel like that you don't need to like sort a job before you come out to Australia, because it's going to be pretty easy. And if you have enough savings to last you for like maybe 3 months or something like that, I feel like it's going to be pretty easy for you to find a job somewhere. And if you don't, move on to the next town. Yeah, it's been pretty easy to find a job out here now, like with COVID and not having so many new people enter the country. It's been pretty easy because everyone in hospitality like really needs staff.
Oh, how old are we? That's another one I see a lot.
Yeah.
She, the cat's mother, is 22. I am 28. Oh, feels weird.
Okay, this question is also money related, so I think we might as well just do it now. And it is, I'm traveling East Coast next September for 3 months. How much money would you say is needed?
That's what I did.
Yeah, so how much did you bring for that?
I ended up spending 7,000 to 8,000 Australian dollars, which sounds like a lot, but I came out with the idea in my head that I didn't want to save on anything. I wanted to do everything on the East Coast, and I did. That was from like starting all the way. I started all the way in Adelaide, and then went to Melbourne to do my tour, and then from there I did like a whole East Coast tour all the way up to above Cairns and around the rainforest kind of area.
Yeah, that's far.
But I did like all of the best tours, what I would say, like, and also ate pretty well as well, like going out drinking as well. So if you want to do it without a budget, then budget 7 to 8,000. But if you do it on 5,000, then yeah, sure, like you're gonna have to be mindful of where you think like you're spending your money is a good idea. Like maybe don't buy that like fourth or fifth drink. Just like, we all know how to save. So
or just have good pre-drinks. Get the goon, pretty cheap.
oh yeah, you guys are gonna learn all about goon when you come over.
I think it's like $4 for 2 litres, something like that.
And it is
Pretty
the
cheap.
gnarliest hangover you've ever had. Even if you've never had a hangover, goon welcomes you to that world.
How are you both coping with the spiders? I was always so paranoid of them while in Oz. So I thought, before coming out here, I thought that spiders would be like such a big part of my life. I thought I'd be checking my shoes every single morning to see if there's a spider in them. But the reality is, like, you see them, like in Noosa, they're hanging from the trees, but we've seen probably like 3 of them, and whenever we do, I kind of like make sure they don't get in the van. Like, it's not anything that we worry about daily because we rarely see them.
It definitely depends on where you are, because there are actually quite a lot of dangerous animals here. So you do have to be pretty careful in some parts, but a lot of parts, not so much.
Yeah. People have the same question with the snakes, and obviously there are lots of venomous snakes out here, but you rarely see them, to be honest, because they are very afraid of us and they hear the vibrations when you walk. So when you walk, it's good to like walk loudly if you're afraid of them, because they'll scurry away most of the
actually
time.
Pretty scared.
Okay, so this person said, I am stuck on whether to travel Europe or Australia first. Would you recommend coming to Australia? Yes, 100% come to Australia. It is like the land of endless possibilities. Like, there's so many places to go. Like, if you want to feel like you're in outback desert, go to the Northern Territory. If you want like the jungle, go to North Queensland. If you want gorgeous ocean, come to the West Coast.
Party scene is like the southeast, anywhere in the southeast of Australia. To answer the question of like Europe or Australia first, one, where are you? Because if you're American, it's kind of 50-50. I think Europe is beautiful. I've travelled a lot of Europe, and also now we've travelled a lot of Australia as well. So it's 50-50 there. But if you're from a European country, you can do Europe when you're older. Like, when you're still young and you can do all these crazy things like rock scrambles up Mount Bruce, skydiving, like, you know, snorkeling, diving, like coast steering, all of those sorts of things, right? You got to do it when you're young.
You can travel Australia at whatever age you want.
It's true.
I definitely think right now with COVID and everything, Australia, like once you're in Australia, I think you're pretty much good. Whereas I think traveling around different countries in Europe at the moment might be a bit tricky. Like, you might need new COVID test for every single country you enter. It might be a lot more paperwork and just like COVID related things that you need to get sorted. Whereas once you're in Australia, you're pretty much good to travel around. One thing you love with each other and one thing you hate.
Just one.
I hate that Tommy doesn't care if there's sand in the bed. And he always wears his trousers rolled up, and every time there's so much sand in those trousers, and it's like we've got a whole beach in the bed, so hits me with it.
The thing that I would choose that I hate the most is that I never get any covers ever anywhere that we stay. The sad thing about it is we have like 6 pillows in here. We have 4 blankets in here and 2 duvets / quilts. I always wake up in the middle of the night and I have nothing, and she's just there like cocooned in everything, like and I'm like and I try and get some, and the worst thing is like when she's not got enough, then she'll just wake up in the night and be like and then it'll just gradually go over her side, so it just
sometimes
disappears,
I wake up in the middle of the
over her
night
side.
and I realise that you don't have any, so then I put some over you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't realise what I'm doing when I'm sleeping.
Yes, so that wasn't too bad.
That wasn't too mean. Could have been meaner.
Oh.
I'm joking. So one thing we love.
I love the fact that you're always up for some adventure. Like, you're always keen to just kind of get stuck in with something. Some days you're really lazy and you take some convincing, but for the most part, like, you're like me in the... That's not the good thing, by the way. It's not that you're like me and that's the good thing. The good thing is that you're always... If there's an idea floating around and I'm like, should we do that? Do you want to do that? Then you're like, yeah. You always say yeah. You're always up for the adventure, and I think that's why we get on so well. It's just we just want to do everything that there is to do, and that's like... I always think the best things are things that you like in one person, but also that makes you better. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think it makes me better too, and I feel more inclined to push myself to do those things as well.
Oh, I can say the same about you. One of my favourite things with Tommy is that you are very thoughtful to everyone around you, and to all, like, even all animals and all living beings. You're always very thoughtful and respectful and think of everyone living on this planet, which I think is really nice.
Thank you for noticing my thought. It's always like easy to watch travel videos and stuff of like, or just people in general, not just couples that are doing the traveling around thing, and it's easy to sort of act like, oh wow, our life is amazing, but like, I really am grateful to be in a position like this, and hopefully you've got a little bit of an insight to what our life is really like, not just like all the cool things that we get to do, but
yeah, we try to show the ups and downs.
Also, here's a secret as well. I'm gonna kind of do a bit of a plug to a book, and it's called The 5 Love Languages, right? And it sounds like a cheesy book to promote to read, but we both read it. It's a really, really short book, and even if you're not with someone, it's good to understand people in general.
Even friends.
You should especially read it, because there's 5 different love languages, and like, not everyone has the same one. Like, you can do a test and find out which is your love language. We figured out that we actually don't have the same love languages, but now we're aware of what love languages each other have. It sounds weird, but once you read the book, you'll definitely be able to understand people more.
How long are you planning on staying in Australia? But we don't know that. Like, my visa runs out in February. We could extend.
We could be here for a very long time, and we could be here until start of the new year, and then we decide to go home. Who knows? Like, we're making really
no plans.
All the plans for no plans, you know? Again, if there's anything that you feel like we didn't answer, or that we definitely should answer, then comment below. And
definitely do that. I feel like this is a long video, but hopefully if you guys have stuck through it, then you have learned a lot about what it is like travelling Australia, and travelling Australia as a couple now, and in a van, and maybe
and
I
hopefully
can make
solo as well, because we both started as solo travellers, so we have that as well.
Let us know down below if you have any travel plans and where your top favourite place that you want to go is. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will have another video of our favourite places in Australia, and maybe like we'll include like top things to do on the East Coast. Yeah,
we'll do a bit more of an insight into the actual travelling of Australia instead of just a lifestyle. So if you're interested in that, then
stick along for the next video.
Stick along.
Maybe not next video, but it will be on my channel at some point, so subscribe. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.
Peace.
Bye. Also, if you have any video requests, leave requests down below. Especially like more videos about van life or anything like that. That would be super fun to make.